Hi there folks, Mr. Swing One here. Welcome back to the channel. We're working on a 2005 Sportster XL883. I had this thing charged up for like 3 hours yesterday afternoon. Trying to charge the battery. It still won't start. I'm going to give you guys a quick overview of what to do next. Most people would think, the battery's charged up. It's got to be the starter. But what you need to check, you need to load test the battery. So the battery might have 12.6 volts at the onset when you check it, like a voltage check across in positive and negative. And this same thing applies for a car, because cars are 12 volt. The Sportster here is a 12 volt system, but in a smaller package. The battery is right here. Real small little, motorcycle battery. People, I think, seen them before. So we will get into this. We're going to check it. We're going to load test it with a DVOM, which is a digital volt ohm meter. That is one of these. I don't recommend using an analog meter. One of these. These have their purpose. But in any modern vehicle with computer modules on them, you want to use digital. These older meters could put a load on the electronics. They could put high resistance. They have batteries in them with the ohm test. There's like a C battery in there and a 9 volt square. These Sportsters do have modules on them right there, I believe. That's some sort of brain box. I'm thinking that's the ignition module, but don't quote me. I'm not really a Harley mechanic. I know enough to keep my own bikes running. But we're going to take a look at what this bike's doing and how you can load test your 12 volt system. And this same idea will work for cars. So stick with me. I'm going to get the meter hooked up. We're going to look at some voltages and see what it's doing. All right, so we got our voltmeter hooked up. I have an alligator clip lead to my DVOM. I'm on the 20 volts DC. Positive side. There's my ground. We're going to turn it on. This is our battery voltage after sitting on charge. It's 12.8. So, due to variations, there might be a surface charge on it, or the meter might be a little off, but 12.6 is your normal battery voltage. So now I'm going to turn the key on. And what you do is we're going to load test this. So when I turn the key on, the ignition module is going to, power up. The lights are going to power up. All the electronics on the bike are going to power up. This is a carb bike, so there's no fuel pump draining any current. But watch this when I turn the ignition on. See it dropping? Now I'm going to attempt to start it. I'm going to crank it. Watch it drop even more. We're in neutral. Let's see if I can hang this here. I like to pull a clutch in when I crank it. Yeah, so it already dropped to 12 volts. This thing ain't going to crank, but I'll show you. See that? That is a load test. So it dropped below 9.6. You see how it went down to 6? That battery, in my opinion, fails a load test. Now, I don't suspect a dead short, because everything works on the bike. I don't smell anything when I turn the key on. Usually if there's a dead short, fuses are going to blow, wires are going to melt. You're going to smell electrical fire. But this is where I would stop, take the battery out, and I'm going to go get a new one. Or I'll have it tested at the battery shop, and the guy will say, yup, it's bad. I'll be like, yeah, I thought so. But the reason why I bring this up, a lot of people would think that's the starter. I don't think that's the starter. So look, let's recover back to 12.5. I'll turn the key on again. This is just with the headlights. I'll turn the ignition system on. Watch it drop. See how it drops? Half a volt, 11.9. But you could do this with your own car. You can hook up a voltmeter, charge your battery, turn the key on, see if it drops. If you want more load, turn the headlights on, turn the blower motor on, turn the wipers on. Don't just run out and buy a starter. Like, that's what people think. They jump to the next expensive thing. Now, for all I know, it is the starter. But after watching that voltage drop, I think that battery fails the load test. I'm going to start with a battery. Even though this battery in this bike's only 3 years old, I think, maybe 4. It wasn't a Harley battery. I've had Harley batteries last well past 5 years. This bike has relatively low mileage. It's got 15,000 on it. But yeah, just a few tips for those out there that are interested in actually fixing their own vehicles, and trying to do it without throwing a bunch of money out if they don't have to. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care and be safe.